guys, first off, thank you all so much for all the engagement in my previous video. It would only help the channel grow and reach more people. I will be sharing weekly videos on how I transition from being the 90% of losing traders to becoming part of the 10% profitable traders. You don't want to miss it, so consider subscribing. There is a button on the bottom right of the screen. So today I want to talk to you about two things that changed my trading forever, and in fact my life, and it could change yours too. It is simple: risk and reward, period. We hear about risk all the time. We know it's extremely important. Many successful traders that I've listened to say that they are right less than 50% of the time. And do you know that with a 50% win rate, there is a 51% chance of getting 6 losing trades in a row, and a 77% chance of getting 5 losers in a row. And if you add human error and psychology, maybe that becomes 8 or 10 losers in a row. Test it out right now. Flip a coin 50 times and see how many times you get heads or tails in a row. Let me show you why you need to risk small, guys. This is my personal account where I risk 0.5% per trade. Now look at all those mess in the middle. They are mostly losses, break-even trades, and some of them human errors. So I'm not perfect. I'm trying to be better every day. Sometimes you lose focus, sometimes you fall asleep, or just good old fear and hesitation. And then I miss a couple of winning trades. But at no point was I in deep trouble. I could have lost 20 more trades in a row and still be fine. Why? Because I risk 0.5% per trade. I could survive any drawdowns. I don't need to make 1,000% a month. I am fine with slowly growing this account over a long period of time, because slow money is better than no money. Let me show you another example. Now this is another account where I risked 10% per trade. I did that because I wanted to live test my strategy risking 10% and see how it would perform. I trade a $400,000 FTMR account, but the reality of this funded accounts are, when we think we're risking 1%, we're actually risking 10%, because if you lose 10 trades in a row, you're out. So I understood that, but I needed to test it out first with a small account size to see if this funded challenges are worth the trouble. Well, here are the results. I lost 7 trades in a row, and I almost blew the account. It doesn't matter how I did here. It doesn't matter how much I took this account to. It could have been $1 million. But I could have just lost 10 trades in a row and boom, I'm out. But the reality is, I took exactly the same trades on these two accounts. Exactly the same trades. The only difference is in the amount that I risked. Now you can see why that's important. It doesn't matter how much I made. I lost 60-70% of it just because I was risking 10% on this account. Whereas on the other account, losing 7 trades in a row, that was almost like 4-5%. Now that's the importance of risk management. No investor wants to see this curve. It's ugly. You need to let your edge play out. And remember what I said. Slow money is better than no money. It was a small account size. I would never do it again, but at least I got paid for my troubles. But that is why you want to risk small. You need to give your edge room to play out. A trader I listened to recently on YouTube said, "No one is a failed trader, you just ran out of money." The pros out there say you should not risk more than 2% of your account. If you're starting out or you're inconsistent, you should not risk more than 0.5%. And why is that? Because you would have to lose 200 trades in a row. And it probably wouldn't happen, because by risking 0.5%, even without doing anything else, you have given yourself a great chance of succeeding in the long run. I promise you, try it out. Now rewards. If you listen to any consistently successful traders, I mean those guys that own billion-dollar hedge funds, what is that one advice they give? Cut your losses short and let your winners run. It sounds so simple, but it took me a while to understand what they were actually saying. Do I just close my trades once they are like 1 or 2 pips loss? Or when do I close my profitable trades if I'm to just let it run? And when they clicked, these guys are talking about risk to reward. Normally your stop losses should cut your losses short for you, right? But what about profits? How much are you making when you're right? Many traders love to win. They love their win rate so much they miss the big picture. They have to be right a lot to win, and when the inevitable losing streak comes, they're in a deep hole, and now they need lots of winning trades in a row to come out of it. So what usually happens? They double their risk, they average their losses, or they do not use stop losses so they can avoid future losses. At that point, they're on a high-speed train to blow their account. I've been there and it's not fun, I promise you. But when I'm right, I make anywhere between 5 to 10 times my risk. So if I risk $1, I make anywhere between $5 to $10. Now I can take 20 losing trades in a row, knowing that I just need between 2 to 4 winning trades to break even. And that gives me a lot of confidence in risking little and following my plan. So Paul Tudor Jones uses a 1 to 5 risk to reward ratio, and I think he knows what he's doing, saying that he manages a $10 billion hedge fund. So I thought that if I could model my risk to reward ratio to his, I stand a good chance. And I promise you guys that is when my results changed. Check out this graph, guys. It shows the relationship between risk to reward ratio and your win rate. Now, if I have a 1 to 5 risk to reward ratio, which I do, I only need to be right 20% of the time to be profitable. All right? I don't need to win a lot. I can win 2 times out of 10 or 20 times out of 100 and still be profitable. And then the lower you go, the more win rate you need to have. Now, if you can risk 1 to 2 and can get more than 40% win rate, then kudos to you. Well done. Keep doing what you're doing. All right? If you're consistent and profitable. That is the secret, guys. It is not in technical analysis. It is in how much you win while managing risk. Now, this is the number representation of the graph I just showed you. So with a $100 risk per trade, after 100 trades, these are the kind of results you start to see with the risk to reward that you have. With my 1 to 5 risk to reward ratio, I can be right just 17% of the time and still double my money. If I have a 30% win rate with a 1 to 5, I'm making crazy returns at that point. Now, the lower you go, you see the less money that you make and the more win rates you need to have to win. People have asked me, how do I get a 1 to 5 risk to reward ratio on my winning trades? I asked them, how many times have you been in a trade, closed it at 1 to 2 or 1 to 3, but that trade did a 1 to 5 or 1 to 10? I have. Sometimes my trades does a 1 to 20R, but I only took a 5R out of it. What if you can just get 1 or 2 of this kind of trades in a month? What would that do to your results? Guys, you need to go back to the drawing board and develop a trading system that aims for at minimum a 1 to 3 risk to reward ratio, ideally a 1 to 5. You can scale down to the lower time frames and take your trades using a higher time frame as a confluence, or you can use a tight stop loss. Right now I'm actively working on a system that adds to my winning positions so I can maximize my profits when I'm right. I target the highs and the lows of the day because I know that I can get those kind of rewards from those levels. But I also know that targeting the highs and the lows has its risks. I could be running in front of a moving train or catching a falling knife. But I know that when I'm right, I will get a good return risking little. That way I can be wrong a lot and still make a lot of money. You can have a system that is as simple as using an indicator or as complex as the smart money concept. Dr. David Paul, he has this beautiful concept of placing his entries where the masses place their stop. So he says that anytime you want to enter a trade, stop. And then place your entry where you plan to place your stop loss. And you'll be surprised how many times price gets there. I thought that was brilliant. So that could be your edge too. Listen guys, Our job is not to become the best technical analyst. Our job is to manage risk and to find an edge in the market we can follow consistently and in the end make money, period. But the foundation of every system is that when you're right, you need to maximize your profits. Listen, we know the Holy Grail does not exist, but if it does, risk and reward would be at the very top. I hope you guys got something out of this. If you're new here, consider subscribing to the channel and sharing this video to anyone that would benefit from it. I wish you guys the best in your journey. I'll see you soon.